like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it done like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mill, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Franklin CandleMafia YouTube channel. What is going on, Mafia? We got an amazing show for you tonight as Bitcoin is kind of just sitting there, and so is Ethereum, but I want to cover those key levels. As you guys know, the hype right now is that ETH ETF going to get approved? It's pretty funny. Didn't seem like too long ago that we were sitting here talking about this with Bitcoin, and we were able to call some pretty accurate levels on Bitcoin when that ETF got approved. Let's see if we could do the same thing here for Ethereum, whether it gets approved or denied or pushed back or postponed or whatever it's going to happen. I want to take a look at those key levels, guys, and talk about the current price action on Bitcoin. Talk about the current trades that I'm in right now and see if we can't find some trade setups live here. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. I also want to show you guys some new levels on a new Ethereum chart that I just made. Probably going to make a pre-recorded video about this tomorrow, so I'm going to tease the chart a little bit, but we're going to be taking a look at some of those higher levels. What happens if ETH does wind up taking off and breaking its all-time high? What would we need to get there, and what are those targets going to be? And if we do get a pullback here, I want to talk about those key levels to the downside. And then on Bitcoin, guys, are we going to see this continued pullback? Not that we've pulled back very much, but I want to talk about those key levels to the downside and kind of my sentiment on where I think price is going to go next. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Go ahead and smash that like button if you guys have not already. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some free chances to win some more free crypto when we do our giveaways, typically on Friday's live stream. I actually, guys, I am going to be traveling tomorrow. I think we may be doing a YouTube premiere for the live stream tomorrow, and then Friday we may not be able to go live. I got to go travel for my nephew. I'm doing something for my nephew in another state, going to travel to visit family, so we may not be live on Friday, but if something crazy happens, we will drop one of those market updates for you guys. I'm not going to leave you in the dark. As Frankie Candles, I am obligated to hold that candle for you guys and guide the way with our candlelight, which may or may not be romantic. But shout out to the CandleMafia. Let's see who we got in here today. Just before we jump into the charts, we got Hamza. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Super happy to see you here. We got Pennywise in the chat. We got Senza. We got American Crypto Monster. What is going on? And shout out to Mr. Market himself. Thank you for that super chat, bro. He said, if you want to get wrecked less, be less reckless. Risk management is the only way to stay green. Shout out to Mr. Market. Thank you for that super chat, and I could not agree with you more. Let me go ahead and drop a like on that super chat, and shout out to Mr. Market, bro. I saw you in that Twitter space last night on Billy Goat Tales. I had a great time on there last night. If you guys don't already listen to Billy Goat Tales every Tuesday at 9 p.m., go check him out. And you guys know Crypto Billy. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Mafia. We got Blair in the chat. What is going on? We got an obvious trick. We got Chemistry, bro. Speaking of goats, shout out to Chemistry, bro, and all the mods. You guys know him. Tyler Jordan, Crypto Anon, Crypto Billy, Chemistry, bro, Rob the Crypto Snob, Captain Kirk, Crypto Anon. Did I say Anon? You guys know who they are. Go ahead and drop some love in the chat. And guys, Top G is in the chat. What is going on? He says, hey, yo, Frankie, my boy. What is going on, Top G? And now that Mr. G is here, let's go ahead and jump on into those charts. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. I am going to spend a little bit of time on Ethereum today, but we're going to start off with Bitcoin. And let me just catch my breath real quick. We're going to start off here on Bitcoin, guys, and then I want to move on into Ethereum. Like I said, I have a bare bones chart here right now, but I did drop some fresh levels on here with some fresh analysis, so I want to talk about those key levels with you guys. But starting off here on Bitcoin, as you guys know, I mean, to be quite honest with you, to be quite frank with you, no pun intended, we're kind of just bing-bonging around here, right? Nothing really too interesting happening here on Bitcoin, but if you guys have been watching the live stream since the beginning of the week, you kind of know my sentiment here. And number one, excuse me, drinking a lot of Aztec King Cactus Moss Water, got me burping over here. But as you guys know, I am in a long position from down here. Let me just go ahead and pull that up so you guys can visualize. I am holding this long trade right now. Still currently in the position, but as you guys know, as we have deviated above this volume profile. Let me hide the position now. I will pull it up on Feemax in just a second and show you guys the actual trade. But, as we ride up here and we deviated above that value area high, this was where I was looking for a potential pullback as we came into our key level of resistance where we had this daily and daily naked point of control sitting, and we knew that it was probably going to be likely to get some kind of pullback here. But are we going to see a continued retracement retracement here, which I do think is definitely possible. Number one, I think we could kind of start a little bit of a retracement into some of these key levels. As you guys know, this is the same level I was looking at yesterday, which is sitting between $67,480 and $66,157. This is kind of that next major kind of zone of support I'm looking at for Bitcoin if we do continue that retracement. Now, I am not just getting massively bearish on this. Again, if you guys have been watching the live stream, my general plan here is I will be holding this long position. And I'll be honest, guys, I cannot catch a break with these limit orders. I had my limit order actually get hit, and it just did not fill for a short entry here. I've been desperately trying to get into my short here, and those limit orders, the other day, they were just getting front run. They were missing them by $1, and then finally we came up in here and tapped one of the levels, and it just didn't fill. It's one of the reasons I don't use limit orders. I like to just mark it in when I see the entry, but sometimes you're forced to use those limit orders if you're stepped away from the chart like I was, but still trying to get into a short here. In my personal opinion, if we are going to continue the retracement, personally, I do think we would at least be able to get a move down to this golden pocket, sitting at, again, $67,410, give or take. And, even if we got in here, we would be able to get a pretty nice move here of about 3%, which is plenty for me to make some money on that retracement. And, again, kind of the context here is I am not necessarily looking for this to just, with these volume profiles, guys, when we deviate above the value area high, this is obviously where we want to be looking for shorts, as this is looked at as an overvalued asset. And then the idea is to get, for anybody new, the idea is to get accepted back into your volume profile or your value area, which is marked out by this range. And then once you get above that, below that value area high, you are going to anticipate a move at least to the POC. And then once you start losing that POC, you could anticipate the move back down to the low of the range. But because of the bullish market structure and a couple things I want to bring up in just a second, I am not anticipating this, just binarily, right? More what I'm gonna be looking at is going to be just a pullback to this golden pocket 786 retracement to potentially put in a higher low and continue that trend to the upside, potentially targeting those higher prices. But as a trader, we have to keep an eye on, right? There is a line in the sand here. If we start breaking below that 786 or really breaking below this wick low at 64.6, that is kind of where I'm going to be anticipating the bigger move down to the bottom of the range, in which case I will get stopped out of my long in profit, cash in some money, making that a guaranteed winning trade, and then hopefully if I can get into this short position, again, not only will I get stopped out of that long in profit, but we can have that short continue to pay us out. But my general thought process here, until the market structure gets broken, is that we will come in and potentially put in a higher low before continuing back to the upside. Now, we do still have this fresh daily naked point of control. If we do, obviously, if we get that retracement and we do get the move up, obviously dependent on that bullish case playing out. That daily naked point of control sitting right here is going to be a key level to keep your eye on, sitting at about $72,600. We never tapped that level. It was part of our resistance zone here, but we kind of just swing failed that swing failed that daily level and then started the retracement here. And the market structure, at least locally here on lower time frames, is broken, which in my book, right, as soon as that market structure breaks bearish, which can be visualized very easily by using Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. But just in general, right, you don't necessarily need an indicator to see this. But once you get that bearish change of character here, this is typically where I am looking for shorts. And now obviously you have some more local changes of character. But for the most part, right, once you get that bearish change of character, that is where I am open or more looking to enter short positions. And it's not only that, guys, it's obviously the volume profile as well. We're using that as context, and this value area high is that key level, right? Let me draw a horizontal line here really, really quickly for you guys, because as you can see here, right, this is kind of a nice line in the sand because we know once we get below here decisively and we cannot get back above, that's where the drop down towards that POC getting closer to about $67,000 is going to be much, much, much more likely. And then for me, the invalidation for that short trade would be, when I was looking at this with the premium Discord, we were still up here. I was actually looking to enter in on a lower high up here, but if I were currently in this position, my stop loss would simply just be right above this wick, right? That way, if we do come back up, once we break this high, I do think there's probably a good chance that we're going to continue up, assuming we can get above that daily naked point of control. But for the most part, guys, I really do not think that it's that I don't really think it's that unlikely to get that retracement back down to the POC. So that's what I'm open to. And then again, if I can get that entry here, to be honest with you, I'm kind of tempted to just enter an aggressive short here below that value area high for the drop. But for the most part, guys, that's the context, right? Like, even if we do get that retracement, it's not really going to be that exciting. But hopefully that ETH ETF can wind up getting approved or denied, and maybe we can get just a big move in the market. I personally don't really mind if we get a big move down or a big move up. As you guys know, I typically have a plan with either case playing out. I will wind up making money. And speaking of money, let's go ahead and pull up that trade here. Still in this long position here, guys. Just kind of not stuck in it, but just still holding this trade. This is a little bit of a longer term trade. It's about a $40,000 position on Femex. Shout out to Femex if you guys want to sign up and get some trading or signing bonuses. If you want to get some trading bonuses or discounts on your fees, check the link in the description down below. But we are in this position up 120%. Again, $40,000 position. I am looking to hold this a little bit longer term, right? Now, this is important to realize, guys, right? Because that longer term long position is going to be, the short here is definitely going to be more of a scalp short, right? I'm going to enter that short, and if I do, I'm still going to hold this long, right? I'm not closing my long position to go short, right? I am just looking to capitalize on what we would anticipate based off market structure to be just a retracement, right? A smaller retracement, a lackluster move to the downside before putting that higher low in and continuing up. And for the most part, guys, like, where were we yesterday, right? Let's find the date here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. What was yesterday? The 21st? So the 21st, like, we were literally just sitting here, and now we just kind of bing-bonged around a little bit, right? So not really too much to update here on Bitcoin, but one thing that I do want to do here is I want to take a quick look at Market Cypher real quick just to check out that money flow, etc. And here we are, right? We are starting to get the VWAP on the daily here looking to print that red dot, right? So it's not just the fact that we're above the value area high. It's not just the fact that we've broken the market structure locally. It's not, it's not just this stuff that I'm looking at. Obviously, we are potentially looking to put in that red dot on the daily. Once we print that red dot, it is going to make it more likely to get a pullback, in my opinion. So it's just kind of another one of those bearish puzzle pieces that I'm keeping an eye on. And then coming on over 16-hour red dot print, confirmed, right? And then as we come down to these medium to lower hourly time frames, you could see your money flow continuing to the downside, right? This would also be calling for a potential pull to the downside, right? Or it would kind of be a point for the bears for that retracement back down to that POC, right? So many things pointing to a potential retracement, but again, looking at our higher time frame money flow, look at that daily money flow back in the green here. So again, if we get that red dot, remember this, guys. I always say this almost on every single stream. The red and the green dots are the ebbs and the flows in the market. The money flow indicates the overall trend, right? So green dot, it's not going to line up perfectly for each one, but you have a green dot, a red dot, a green dot, a red dot, right? A green dot, red dot. But the money flow crossover, this purple and this blue wave, when you have these not only crossing over into the green or the red, but also the one thing I like about Market Cypher, or one of the many things I love about Market Cypher, other than just the money flow, is the directional nature of it, right? So we don't have to wait for the crossover. You can kind of anticipate this stuff coming in as you see money flow starting to trend in one direction or the other. So red dot would indicate an ebb or a flow to the downside, but as long as that money flow stays in the green or continues pushing up further into the green, we are going to anticipate a higher low and a continuation of the trend. And that's not just market structure. I mean, that's not just money flow. It's also the market structure, right? So we're not just going based off of only the indicator, but when you see all these things kind of line up, it makes for a pretty high probability play out, right? And then we have the second kind of backup plan here. If we break down below that POC and things start to flip more bearish and we break the lows here, this is where I will likely get stopped out of my long in profit. And then hopefully, if I can just get a dang entry here, it's like the patience game is very hard for entering this short position, guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, even me, I struggle with the emotions as well as you guys do sometimes. Like just kind of like itching to get into this short position. I'm just waiting for these retracements, and they just either front run my limit order or just my limit order doesn't get filled. So it's like kind of hard for me to not just like aggressively enter here and just like take a little bit more risk and hope we come down. But my nature is to just wait for the actual confirmations. We want to take the highest probability trades, not just the willy-nilly random setups that are not really there. So that is the gist here on Bitcoin for the most part, guys, because once we get above this resistance level, the only other thing in our way is that previous all-time high, which is really not that far. And one thing I do want to bring up that I did talk about this on the Billy Goat Tales X Space last night. Shout out to Crypto Billy, one of our fellow goats, and I guess he's specifically a Billy Goat. But Shout out to all the goats out there. I was talking about this on the Twitter space last night, and what I was basically talking about, we were talking about Bitcoin going to 100K. Will it happen? When will it happen? Is it possible? Are we ever going to get there? Obviously, I do think it's very likely that Bitcoin hits that $100,000 level. We've been waiting for it forever. I do think we are going to hit it sooner than later. But one thing I do want to kind of put in perspective for you guys is I'm going to come on up here, right? Let's just grab a horizontal ray here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just put this at 100. Come on. Put this at $100,000 even. And I just want to show you guys, right? This move from where we are right now up to $100,000 is less of a move, right? We are closer to, or it would be less of a move to the upside to hit $100,000. It's 43%. That is less of a move that it took for us to go from, I believe, the low of the last major end of consolidation down here at around $40,000. We kind of bing-bonged around here for a little bit, and then we got that next big leg up. Like, this was an 80% move. I mean, maybe even from here to here, maybe that, I think that's what I measured. Yeah, so it's like even to the all-time high, 46%, but to where we are right now, like we are closer to $100,000 than we were when we were sitting at 51K to where we are right now, right? This move is almost the same, just a little bit less than this move right here. And it was not that long ago that we were sitting at $50,000, right? So just to put that into perspective, like we are very, like $100,000 is very, very close in my own personal opinion, right? We've seen Bitcoin make some crazy, crazy moves throughout the cycles. So like, $100,000 is like not far-fetched at all. And I do think we are going to wind up hitting that sooner than later, especially with everything going on, in the news. Not only the spot Bitcoin ETFs, the ETH ETFs, and just cycle-wise, right? We are simply, at that point in the cycle where we typically wind up seeing those big moves to the upside. Now, is it going to happen instantly? I don't think so. Chances are that we're probably going to be in for some kind of boring price action, right? Like things are, even if you go back to other bull runs, like back here in 2020 after we had the halving, we kind of just bing-bonged around. We got a big move up and then a big move down and then you bing-bong around. But for the most part, guys, let me pull up that cycle chart real quick. We actually talked about this yesterday as well. I don't have it up right now. Let me just go ahead and open this. Shout out to Infinite Crypto. I don't know if he's in here right now, but he was saying that he really likes this chart. He found it very, very useful. But let me go ahead and take a look at this cycle chart with you guys because March of 2020, right? Or not March of 2020, I think it was May of 2020 was the halving. I mean, from then until like the start of the major move was 154 days. It took 154 days. Sure, we got this bump to the upside, this dump, this little sideways boring action here. So it's kind of just bing-bonging around, but more or less just kind of going sideways here for 154 days. Now, I'm not saying this is definitely going to play out. I'm just trying to show you guys like how price action realistically happens, right? Or how it realistically behaves. So, if we were to measure that 154 days, all the way down, that brings us all the way to, is that right? Is that all the way in September? Yeah. So that brings us all the way to September, which, hopefully we don't really get another boring summer here, just kind of going sideways for Bitcoin until September. Hopefully not. But these are, I think a lot of people forget that third, I think people forget like the third option, right? Price could go up, could go down, but it could also just go sideways, or even worse, it could grind down or grind up. Like that's even worse in my opinion. So, that is definitely a possibility. I think everyone's just always trying to come up with this is it, this is where we launch, and that's like not how price action works, right? You just have these boring ranges and then eventually you get those moves up. And that is why we trade those volume profiles, because when you have those volume profiles, you could simply look for your long positions at the lows and then eventually understanding, when you have money flow on the higher time frames coming up, when you know that you're on the cusp of a potential bull run incoming, you're much better off longing the lows here, and then eventually you are going to expect those ranges to break to the upside, and this is simply how we're able to enter longs at the bottom, right? It's just by understanding how price action forms, right? You have impulse, and then you have consolidation, then you have impulse, consolidation, and then inside of these consolidation areas is where we want to find our trades. So you can imagine, just like the price action right now, right, the current price action and the current long position I am in right now on Femex, up 120%, This is, just the same exact thing that we've done throughout all of these moves, right? I'm also long from here. I'm not logged into the account right now, but I am still long from down here at 40K. And it's all the same strategy, right? Like it's all the same thing. We had this volume profile down here. We deviated below the low. Everybody gets super scared. We look for longs, right? And then eventually you wind up getting the break of the range, and that's how you wind up getting these gigantic moves, right? All the way to the high of 83%, and that's how we're able to long the bottom here. Very similar to here. I actually closed this position. We took a long at the bottom of this range as well. Wound up closing that one in profit. And now simply put, here we are again, bing-bonging around. We deviate below the range. I take that long position. And I'm not saying that we're guaranteed to break out here, but eventually, if we do break out of this range, we are simply going to look back in hindsight. Maybe Bitcoin's at 100K. Maybe it's at 85K, right? But when Bitcoin, if it does make a move to like 80 to 100K, simply put, we're going to look back and be like, oh my God, look at that. We're long from the bottom. And it's not because we look at this as the bottom. It's not like we look at this and we say, oh my God, this is the bottom. We're going to long it to 100K. But we just do it within the context of the volume profiles. And then if we get the bigger move out, we turn those singles and doubles into absolute grand slams. But they definitely usually hit you by surprise. So there you go, right? I do think, I just wanted to point that out, right? Like 100K is not that far. It's actually closer than the last big move that we got. So keep that in mind. Other than that, going to be looking for price. Key level to get back above if you do not want the retracement to 67K is going to be to remain above that value area high at 69,660. And we're kind of playing around with it right now. But we do have to close, multiple high time frame candles below here. Multiple 4-hour candle closures down here would be a good signal as well. And again, daily red dot. These typically do wind up giving you a move to the downside. So just not impossible to get that little local retracement before finally and maybe getting that bigger move to the upside. Shout out to Squatch Knows Crypto. What is going on, bro? Says, I appreciate all you do, Frankie, and I appreciate you, Squatch, for hanging out with us in the live stream here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Bada boom. Shout out to Wick589 says, Frankie, so when you TA, make sure you start with VPs, or also known as vice presidents, or volume profiles is probably what he's talking about. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. Bada boom. Yo, shout out to Tony D. Said, Frankie Candles, do you remember when you made a request for High Block to remove the tags on the chart? I reached out like 2 months ago and just got an update from Vinny. No tags in the next version. Shout out to Vinny from High Block Capital. Actually, guys, let me go ahead and pull up High Block. We actually have not looked at the heat map in a few days now, and I do want to take a look at it because it is important, but we've just kind of been going sideways, so the liquidity's kind of been sitting in the same spot. But let me go ahead and pull up that liquidation heat map real quick so we can take a look at where that liquidity is sitting. And shout out to Vinny from High Block. I love that. If they can make that happen, basically what I was saying was, if we could get these tags, I can't get these labels out of the way. Sometimes I just want to look at the cursor and these things just get in the way. I'm trying to see the price action. I can't see it. And shout out to Tony D. That's lit. Shout out to Vinny from High Block. Tony, do we have any discounts for the Mafia on High Block Capital for them to check out these tools? I don't know. Apparently, they're still doing the 60% off deal, which is insane if you guys want to check this out. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look here. Right now, obviously, we're in a range, right? So very often, right, very, not surprisingly, we have a lot of liquidity above the highs and a lot of liquidity down below, right? This is basically what causes the range. You come up, you hit the liquidity, you come down, and then as you create that range, you build up more and more liquidity on the highs and the lows. So if, using this information, it's really nothing new, right? Just because, we're just still ranging. So liquidity is still in the same spot. But you guys can see here, if we do break that all-time high on Bitcoin, we could wind up seeing, we talked about this yesterday, actually. Let me go ahead and pull up a fresh chart here real quick. Let me go ahead and clear this. So, if we take a look at Bitcoin here, if we do wind up coming and taking these highs, we do have to be careful, right? Because simply put here, guys, I know that every time we approach all-time highs, everybody gets super, super bullish. And, rightfully so. But just understand here, as we approach this high, right? Say we do get the retracement that we're looking for, right? And then we do get the higher low and we do come up here. We still have to anticipate potential short positions, or at least scalp short positions on this high. Because if we know all that liquidity is sitting up here, sometimes what will happen is you will come up, price will wick above that all-time high. And then as you start stabbing into those liquidations, you'll wind up getting a big liquidation wick, right? This is typically typically where you see those big liquidation wicks. And if we don't have a lot of genuine buy pressure here, and we just see, and we can look at something like exo charts to figure this out, if we see that move above the all-time high, and we can notice that there's a lot of liquidations occurring and not a lot of new long positions opening, it may mean that we're going to fake out that range high and then potentially just wind up coming back down to the bottom of this range. Now, this is not what I'm calling for, and then this is not honestly what I would want at all. I would hate this. This would be the most boring thing ever. Now, is it good for trading? It is awesome, right? This makes for amazing trades. Like I said, we are long from the low to the high, and then we will be looking for shorts here at the high as we are right now, but especially if we deviate above that all-time high, if we do not get a lot of volume on that breakout and we just see a lot of liquidations, it may call, I am going to be very cautious around here because whoo, baby, if we have a boring summer here and we just wind up grinding back down to the bottom of this range and then back up, I really do think that ETF, whether it's up or down, could give us a big move here and not allow that to happen. But this is definitely a possibility. And as a trader, we have to have every single every opportunity, or at least every case in our mind, so when that price action presents itself, we can act on it, right? But it's all dependent on if you come up to the level, right? So if you do come up here, you have to analyze that price action. What does money flow look like? Is money flow coming up, crossing over into the green on the daily? Potentially, right? It could be very likely because that's kind of the situation that we have right now on Market Cypher. So we have a fresh money flow crossover into the green on the daily. So if that money flow continues up, maybe we continue the trend, right? But if we come up here and we see a lot of liquidations, maybe we get a swing failure of the actual all-time high. I will definitely be taking a scalp short, not in anticipation of a massive dump, but in case we do get another move back down to the bottom of the range, I definitely want to catch that short from the top. Because we just abuse these markets, guys. We just take the money on the way up, take the money on the way down. I feel so greedy as a trader, right? Because it's not even like find a good project, buy it, and hold it, right? It's like find a good project like Bitcoin and then just like squeeze every dollar you possibly can out of it. And then roll that back into your long-term investments. Typically what I do. But there you go, right? 100K, not too far away. But Bitcoin is very, very boring right now as it's just getting that retracement. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, guys. This is really what I want to talk about today because obviously there's a lot of news about Ethereum. The ETF, is it going to get approved? Is it going to get denied? And I want to talk about if it gets approved and we wind up seeing a big move up for Ethereum, what is the next thing that we're likely to see? Because there are a few scenarios here, right? And first off, I just want to pull up the TA here, and I'm just going to pull up the current analysis here, right? And let me just pull up the naked points of control. So right here is what I would say are some of the more important levels, right? If we wind up getting a breakout here, and we'll talk about, potential new all-time highs if that does come in. I want to talk about the levels above because we do have some nice confluence on some levels that we've already been looking at. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat. He says, also, Token Metrics Mafia discount is live. Yo. Tony, you can't make our discount code 100X. That's irresponsible, Tony. But he says, use code 100X. Capital X with our link to save 25% off of Token Metrics. And I will probably make a pre-recorded video or tutorial on Token Metrics. If you don't know what Token Metrics is it is an AI platform that uses artificial intelligence to come up with different metrics and scores to help you find hidden 100X gems. I don't know if Tony picked that 100X code or not, but Token Metrics, I talk about this all the time. We actually used Token Metrics. That is the premium. Okay, this is an older post. So I didn't want to share anything secret here in the premium. Shout out to the premium Discord. If you guys are interested, check the link in the description down below if you want to follow along with my live trades and daily TA updates, etc. We also have Darren Does Things in here with his own channel. Given some, I don't know if he's got any secret sauce in there right now. I don't want to share. It's not fair to the people who pay. But he's dropping Forex sauce, crypto sauce. He's got all the setups as well. So we got not only me, but we also have Darren Does Things, an amazing trader in there, dropping his info as well. But in the dining room here, guys, if I can find it, this is where we drop. We have a Token Metrics channel where we use Token Metrics to try to find these low cap gems. And the reason I keep going up here is because I used to post these. Tony is posting a lot of these now using my strategies. But we have used this in the dining room. We post this. Dining room is free. You just have to sign up with one of our affiliate links to get in here. And actually, shout out to Tony D. Let me see here. Shout out to Tony. Tony, if you could drop information on how to get back in here. If you guys just click the dining room, we have a problem with the way we used to do it. Tony's got to recode a bunch of stuff and build a bunch of stuff from scratch. But if you want access to one premium TA post a week, shout out, this must have been today. There you go. You guys got a post from today looking for a potential short entry. But anyway, if you guys want to get in there for one premium post per week, as well as Token Metrics channel and Altcoin Alpha, we got a bunch of sauce in here for free if you use our affiliate links. But we use Token Metrics. The whole point of this is we have used Token Metrics to snipe some really, really nice altcoin gems. Fetch.ai from the from super low prices. And I'm getting a call here from it was a scammer. I missed it. Dang it. We would have answered that scammer live. But we've used this to find a bunch of altcoin gems, guys. Fetch.ai, Caspa below a penny. So it's all based off Token Metrics. I will make a video on this. Super powerful tool. But yeah, if you want to use code 100X, apparently, to save some money for the Mafia, let's go. And then Tony D said they set the code. I wanted Frankie25. Okay, shout out to Tony D. But I will say, we looked at this yesterday. Like, I think we were looking at Caspa. Caspa was like the best find that we found or not recently, but we found Caspa, I believe. It was like below a penny, I believe. Or maybe not. I don't know. That might have been Fetch.ai. But absolutely sniping these things from the bottom, getting in early before the massive moves. Caspa, Fetch.ai, Axelar, all this stuff was flashing on Token Metrics before anybody was talking about it. So super cool. Go check them out. And with that being said, let's jump back over to Ethereum because we got a lot to talk about here on this fresh chart. So with this is our main volume profile, guys. Value area high coming in at about 37.08, POC coming in at 35.04, and your value area low coming in at 32.21. Now, obviously, we have gone, we broke down below this range, resistance, and then eventually we finally popped back in here and filled the whole range almost instantly. And we are now above that range, right? So it's not impossible to get a little cool off here. Maybe we cool off back to the POC, but not impossible as we deviate above this level to get a little bit of a pullback back down to that point of control. And with that being said, key resistance above this, if we do wind up getting another push up on Ethereum, these are going to be two big levels to watch. More specifically, between $4,000 and $39.80, where we have a daily and a weekly naked point of control. This is going to be kind of a zone of resistance that I will be watching for. Very likely that, not that we can't get through it or anything, but if we come back up there, may wind up getting some resistance. But the real question, and this is just kind of the local stuff, right? Let me actually pull a fib here from this impulse to the high. Yeah. So, I mean, even if you came back down to the value area low, let's say the ETF gets denied or not, I wouldn't say denied, but like maybe postponed or something. Maybe you get a bigger pullback back down to the bottom of this range where you could start to look for new long positions. But let's go ahead and hide this real quick because really what I want to show you guys is the higher targets. Let's assume, right, that Ethereum's ETF is going to pass, right? And we are going to get that big move back up to all-time highs. I'm going to make a video about this, so I'm only going to show part of this, but I do want to pull up some spider lines because if we look here, zoom out a bit, we have some very nice confluence. I'm not going to show the confluence right now, but just simply put, right? First off, look how these spider lines are respected. Held this bottom spider line beautifully at the bottom, and then all along the way up, you got support, resistance, support, right? So just beautifully respected levels here. But if we do get a break to the upside, guys, I do want to say, very likely if we hold this spider line as support and we get that bigger move up, this is going to be a big zone to look. This pocket of spider lines, which is really coming in depending on how quickly we hit it. If we were to get up there somewhat soon, it is sitting between $5,600 and just about $7,000. This could be that big zone to be watching as we get a move to the upside, if we get that move to the upside. And just to be clear here, if we wind up getting the ETF approved, don't be surprised if we get a little bit of a pullback before the bigger move up. But once we get that bigger move up, and if Ethereum does wind up getting that bigger move to the upside, we could potentially be looking at those spider lines between about $5,000 and $7,000. And there is other confluence here that I'm not going to talk about. I'll talk about it in the pre-recorded video. But there is some pretty nice confluence on this level as well as above. At higher targets, we also have some nice confluence for those upper targets. So going to be dropping a video probably tomorrow on that, maybe next week. But I may want to get it out tomorrow as it may be the day that we get the move. So, but that's what I'm looking at, right? Now, on top of that, those are local MPOCs. Let me see. Do we have any weeklies? Yeah. And then, as we come up there, like the only thing that we have in the way other than those spider lines on the way to those spider lines. The only thing we really have in the way are these two weekly levels at 40, let's see, at 43 and 46.30, right? So, obviously it's probably not going to just do this, right? We're not just going to Lambo candle right up to the target, right? This is very unlikely to happen. But more likely, what you will see is a bounce around, right? Maybe you hit a little resistance, you flip the spider line into support, you get back above here, and then eventually you get up to those levels. But these are definitely going to be key levels to watch as well. But can we make it to that $6,000-$7,000 Ethereum? I do think if we break those all-time highs, that's probably going to be like the next move, right? And then obviously you do have the all-time high there as well, right? So you have a little cluster of resistance there. But once you break that all-time high, next stop, in my opinion, especially with the confluence that we have that I'm going to talk about tomorrow, this is going to be a high likelihood area to be looking at, right? So between 5,500, or no, I wouldn't say 5,500, between about 6 and 7K is going to be that upper target to the upside. And I don't want to delete those. I just want to hide them. So there you go. But locally, guys, to be honest, like nothing has really changed here, right? Let's go down to the 4 hour. So again, we remain above the value area high. Maybe we continue up. But once we start breaking down below this value area high, that is where I would look for the retracement to the downside, targeting the POC and then potentially the value area low. But we're just going to be using that value area as context, right? And this is why I love the volume profiles. Oh my God, we're going down. What's happening? What's happening, right? I know exactly what's happening. We got accepted back into the range. We're now within our volume profile. Next likely place for price to go is that POC. Very simply put. So there you go. A little bit of higher targets on Ethereum. And can we hit it? I don't know, right? Nobody does. It's going to be reliant very, very heavily on that ETF approval. Let's go. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Said consolidating before the next pump. Let's go. Yes, definitely could be, right? This would be, if I were just looking at this structurally, definitely does look like bullish consolidation to me, right? I wouldn't just be trading this all alone, right? But, I mean, should we do it? Let's see here. It's kind of hard, right? This was such a fast move up. It's kind of hard to, let me actually hide this. Should we see? Maybe we'll do this live. I'll just pull this little volume profile here. Let me go ahead and pull a little bit of a fib. I mean, it's really, really hard to pull these fibs because we just had that such a quick move to the upside. There was just no structure being formed. Let's see. I mean, if you come back down to the bottom of this value area low, fake out, right? Deviate from the value area low. Maybe you go down for a 786 golden pocket retracement, and then that would be basically a fake out of that pennant, and then a big move up and big move to the upside, right? That could be a possible scenario. I would really like to see confluence in here. And to be honest with you, there really isn't. Well, POC. Yeah, I don't know. If we pull back, guys, if we get a pullback and we are going to continue up, this may be a good, sheesh. Dang, we're giving it all away. Giving it all away for free here on the live stream. Yeah, I don't know. I would potentially look for a deviation of that value area low, which would also be a fake out of the triangle, which would also be a golden pocket 786 retracement, which could be, remember guys, we always say this, if you're going to break out of a range, sometimes what happens here is you will come back down and test that POC, and then the bounce off that POC is where you get the bigger move. Could be something could be something that we could see. So there you go. Quick little sauce there. Sometimes I just see stuff and I'm like, this looks like it makes sense. And that could make sense right there. Not financial advice. I'm not saying to take that trade. I'm just saying that is what I'd be looking for. If we got a pullback, I'd be looking for scalp longs down there, most likely. But again, shout out to Chembro. Yeah, typically when you have consolidation here, and here's the other thing too, right? Let me go ahead and hide the current TA and pull up our other value area that we were looking at yesterday, because this is still 100% in play, right? Not only are we consolidating, but we could potentially be consolidating here. Now, whether you get that pullback that we were looking at on this golden pocket 786 or not, right? Whether you get that pullback or not. Wow, I did not mean to draw that right to the dollar. But whether you get the pullback to the 786 or the golden pocket, or you just yeet back to the upside, the nice thing here is we are hitting our head on this resistance, fighting, trying to get into this volume profile. And what happens when we get back into that volume profile? Simply put, guys, we could potentially be getting a move. We're just going to look at this as a simple volume profile, right? Flip that value area low to support. Next likely place for price to go is what, Creighton C? Let me know, Creighton. I know you know the answer. That's right. Shout out to Creighton C. The next likely place for price to go is going to be that POC, and then that value area high once you flip the POC at 43.91. So that would be the trajectory I would expect Ethereum to take if we're able to get back up into this range. You can see this actually did wind up happening back here. Last time we approached this range, we were probably saying the same thing. I'm pretty sure we did. We had I think we did an Ethereum deep dive video where I actually looked at this saying, hey, we're hitting key resistance. If we can break up here and hit that value area low and hold it as support, the next likely place for price to go is probably going to be that POC. And then what happened? We literally came up. Look at the respect. Right up to that POC, double tap, retracement, another tap, and then like literally almost to the dollar there. Like wicked right to the dollar, and then what happened? We wound up getting that little rejection. So simply going to be expecting something very, very, very similar to happen once we get back up inside of this value area low. Shout out to the volume profiles for just giving us the clearest context on where price is likely to go. It's unbelievable. So there you go. That is my outlook on Ethereum. Like I said, I will potentially put that. I'm not 100% sure when I'm leaving to go out of town tomorrow. So I don't know. It's going to be dependent on that, but I will try to get that video filmed for you guys. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Pennywise. There we go. POC's in the chat. Let's go. Let's see. I broke 2 ribs. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Said I broke 2 ribs and a leg, so it might take a month or 2 before it's up and running. Shout out to shout out to Wix589 said, why are the likes so low? Jeez, people. Yeah, we got 211 likes. That is horrific. Smash that like button if you guys are finding any value in this content. Or just maybe, I don't know, smash the like button if you hate the content. Maybe that'll pump likes. I don't know. But shout out to the Mafia. Salty Biscuit said, Frankie, check my super chat. Shout out to Salty Biscuit. Or Salty Bitcoin, as I like to call him. All right, let's see. Hang on. Shout out to Multisig Dummy. Thank you for the super chat. Said, hey fam. Hey, Frank. Sup, Tony? What is going on, Multisig? Good to see you in here, bro. And then the Salty Biscuit said, tip your guru like you tip your dealer. 1, 2, 3 time, Frankie. LFG. ETH just got approved. By the way, unless I'm wrong, shout out to the Salty Biscuit. With all the fake news that happens out there, with all the interns fat fingering the keyboards, I don't really believe stuff until it's like a day confirmed. So shout out to the Salty Biscuit. But yeah, let's see if we can get those likes up. We just jumped up to 242, guys. On the count of 3, we're going to smash that like button, and then you guys are going to spam the altcoins. And let's see here. How are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good on time. So if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and spam them in the chat right now. Rob the Crypto Snob, which I think is still in Spain, if I am not incorrect. Maybe Chemistry Bro will count up the votes and let us know what altcoins we're looking at. Go ahead and drop them. But before you do that, on the count of 3, guys, smash that dang like button. 1, we're gonna slam it at the same time. I can't hit it because it's my YouTube channel. It won't let me hit the like button, which is a scam. I should be able to like my own stream. But anyway, all right, we're at 250. Let's see if we can run it up to 450 in the next 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Smash that like button. Let's go. Let's see if we can get it to glitch out here. Oh, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Right up to 262. Come on, let's get one more jump. 262. Let's get it to 270. It comes in batches. It just jumps up by like 15. Let's see. 271, baby. Let's go. Run it up to 350. Let's go. VeChain, ADA. Doge, Flux, Whiff. Vet and Kembro or Rob. I think it is Kembro. I think Kembro's doing it tonight. Shout out to shout out to Greg said, Frankie Candles, that's why you have an alt account. Let's go. Did you see me hit the like button on my phone? Was that obvious? I have 70 iPhones right here, and I just have robots hitting the like button. There we are, 312. Let's get it up to 350 so we can start looking at these altcoins. Oh, wait, hang on. Shout out to Kembro. Says, breaking, the U.S. House of Representatives has passed the Financial Innovation and Technologies for the 21st Century Act. Yeah, that's the FIT 21. Good for crypto. Let's go. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. Let's get it, baby. Crypto to the moon. They signed the paper. That means it's going up in a straight line, right? Right? Maybe? Or is it going to dump? I don't know. Shout out to Kembro. Let's go. That is definitely good news for crypto all around. But, as we always say, typically you do not see those instant reactions, but that is definitely good news for crypto. That's actually amazing. You guys have probably heard a bunch of the FIT 21. Probably heard a bunch about that today if you are keeping up with crypto. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton C said, thank you for the super chat. Oh, I said thank you for the super chat. He said 800 watching. 210 likes. Really? Is the little clicker on the mouse your finger is sitting on too far away to click? Really? That too hard for you? Oh, 262. Is this some Creighton debate? Shout out to Creighton C. He is the like police. Creighton C is the official like police. Thank you for your service, Creighton. And with that being said, let's go ahead and take, let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the altcoins. We took a look at Ethereum, and I will take a random look at, I'm seeing a lot of Link. It might be the same person. I think it might be Jay Jeweler. Yo, shout out to Jay Jeweler. Jay Jeweler, are you actually a jeweler? What kind of jeweler are you? Let me know in the chat, and I'll take a look at Link. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Greg wants to see Bonk. Shout out to Chemistry, bro. Lightning quick. Let's go. Yo, Chem, bro. Are your hands smoking right now? That's insane. That was insanely quick. Thank you for that, Chem, bro. I appreciate you, brother. Let's take a look at Link first on the list here. Oh, my God, it's going to 0. This is not good, guys. I'm just kidding, guys. Let's take a look here. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so taking a look at Link, I mean, very similar to Ethereum, to be honest, right? As we look at this, let's take an overarching view first, right? We have the lower range, right? We just broke out of the lower range, and we are now tapping our head on the upper range, right? What happened last time we did that, right? Hit your head. Eventually, you break through, and you go right to the... This isn't the POC of the range, but it's a daily naked point of control, but we came right up to that key level. Where is the POC? Yeah, the POC is a little higher up here, but just to make things kind of easy to understand here, let me get rid of some of these other levels so it's not super confusing to everybody. So yeah, and I'll even get rid of this stuff as well because these are local. So very simply put here, guys, you have your bear market range. We have the massive breakout of the bear market range, which was our next target, which made our next target this value area low, which was obviously something we had been looking at for quite some time. We got that quick move up to the value area low. I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually expect it to get hit that fast. We hit our head. Once we broke up, we wound up getting accepted into the range very slightly, and then we got rejected. But the good news here, guys, is that, and just to give a little sauce here on the volume profiles, guys, right? What do you do on the way back down, right? You might be thinking to yourself, well, what happens if you go into that big range and you come back down? We just look at that old volume profile, right? We extend that range to the right, and then as you enter that range, those are probably the levels that are going to get respected on the way back down, right? So you come in, break through the value area high, right to the POC, right to the value area low, and then you deviate right back to the POC, bing bong around, and then you get back into the value area. Where do you go? Once you hold that low, you go right to the POC, right to the value area high. What happens when you deviate from the value area high? You get accepted back into the range. Where do you go? Right to the POC, right to the value area low, right? This is how we're able to absolutely destroy these volume profile ranges with the trades. And now we are simply knocking on the door to potentially come back into this bigger range, hold this value area low to support, which is the doorway to higher prices, which could potentially get you a bigger move up to, again, this no longer naked point of control, but this is now a tapped naked point, or a tapped clothed point of control, sitting at 2231. Flip that to support. If we get above that level, that is where, I mean, just in general, you are expecting a journey up to that POC, which is sitting right here, right? Let me actually label that right here, right? So next target on Link is likely going to be, if you hold that value area low, I would be looking up towards 2231. You break that, yearly high, then we could look for a move up to the POC. But eventually, you're just looking for that journey to that POC, which is sitting right here. But we just know price action is ugly. Price action is confusing. Price action is boring. You just kind of bing bong around. You might correct a little bit. It might take a long time, but eventually, right, you are going to eventually anticipate getting up to that POC because that is the next likely place for price to go as long as you remain above that value area low. But right now, we got to get back above it, right? And then simply put, just like I talked about this move back down into the lower range, you're using this as your context down to lower prices, and now you can use this as your context to the higher prices. You're just kind of in between the ranges here. So you're just looking to either get accepted back into this value area high to get a move to the downside, or acceptance into this value area, above this value area low for the move to the upside. Very simply put, until then, you might kind of just bing bong around these two ranges until you get, these are both very key levels, right? Value area low, value area high. This is the doorway to lower prices. This is the doorway to higher prices. And not only random lower prices and random higher prices, the lower prices would be the POC at 1460. And if you get above the value area low, your next target to the upside, in my opinion, actually wouldn't be this daily naked point of control. It would actually be, I would say the next major one, $20, right? This local point of control sitting out here. So this would actually be a level I'd pay attention to as well, right? So I would say this, yeah, I would say this is a pretty key level, right? So if you get above there, bada boom, look to go up into this POC, flip that POC, then you can look to go to higher prices. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on Chainlink. Let's take a look at Market Cipher real quick. Yeah, money flow coming up on the daily. Once that red dot kind of figures itself out, right? If we wind up getting a move down, maybe a consolidation, right? Do I have confluence on that POC? Give it to me. Give me the POC. Give me the golden pocket confluence right here. Yeah, baby. There it is. Let's go. So, yeah, to the downside, I'd be very interested, honestly, in this whole zone. Golden pocket, 786, POC value area low. Very, very, very nice confluence here. So if you did get a pullback, I would probably be looking for potential long positions here, and then maybe that is the move that gets you into the higher range. So there you go. Money flow on the daily headed in the right direction. Once that red dot figures itself out, I would look for that money flow to come back into the green, and then that's likely where you'll get the move to the upside. Weekly green dot confirmed. You're going to start maybe. Yeah, be careful out of head and shoulders, though. Yikes. So, yeah, those are the key levels. Obviously, if we wind up getting a dump back down here, that might be forming the head and shoulders. But to be quite honest with you, that daily money flow, it's going to be dependent on this daily money flow. If that crosses into the green, bullish. If we get harsh rejection and money flow just continues to come out here, not going to be that great of a sign. So we need between the 12-hour, 16-hour, and daily money flows got to come back up here because this does not really look that great. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Wick589. Shout out to you, brother. Said, hey, so BTC just before ETF approval was 46.6K-ish. 69.3K now. ETH around 3.8K. Cross multiply 5.5K-ish. ETH in about 4 months. I love DGen math. Shout out to Wick589. Wick, take a picture of that and save it to your phone or something so we can go back to see if that was correct. And if it is, I'll give you a prize. I don't know what the prize will be. Maybe it'll be a Frank Candles hat. Maybe it'll be some XRP. Maybe it'll be some Cardano. Maybe I'll send you some COQ ENU. Shout out to Wick589. I'm serious. Let's see if that's right. If that's right, I will send you a prize. I'll send you a Frankie Candles care package. That's what they call it. Shout out to Wick589. Let's go. Thank you for the super chat. Absolute OG. Shout out to Wick. All right, let's see. Shout out to Villa Senor. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Said, Frankie's the GOAT. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Bah! Bah! I could hear Mrs. Candles sighing outside. But there you go, guys. There's a link. Let's go ahead and move on to our next altcoin, which is Near Protocol. We have not taken a look at Near nearly enough. We actually haven't looked at this in quite some time. But luckily, nothing has really happened, right? This is a perfect, very, very great example of getting back within that value area, right? You come down, support, you deviate, come back up. Now you're looking for price to reclaim that value area low, and now you're looking to get those moves closer to where? Well, the POC. But you have a daily naked point of control here at about 920. So let's go ahead and see here, bada boom, bada bing. Fresh green dot on the 16 hours. Check that daily. Daily money flow technically trending to the downside here on Near. You are in the green. However, I don't know why I did that. I don't want a ray. I want a trend line. As you can see, right, money flow is trending down. Although it crossed over into the green here, this could just be a lower high. This is not significant enough for me to kind of be convinced by this. Technically, it's in the green, so you could anticipate a continued move to the upside. Market structure is bullish. You can just look for a move up to that naked point of control. So if the momentum continues to the upside, 920 and 1125 are going to be the next key levels of support resistance to the upside, or the next targets, right? So if it continues up, I would look for something like this. Once you flip that daily naked point of control, next target's going to be this purple box, which starts at about 1156 and brings you all the way up to about 1354. So there you go. Let's see. 3-day VWAP rolling over. I would be careful of some bearish divergences here as well on the higher time frames. Weekly green dot just printed, or just confirmed, rather. Let's see. 16-hour green dot printing. Let's check that 1-hour money flow. Okay, yeah. I do think if you get a move here, how many hours do we have left on this 60? Yeah, we got 1 hour. Yeesh. So you got that green dot on the 16-hour, guys. That you know what to do. Go down to that 1 hour time frame. Check that money flow. Once that money flow crosses over into the green, typically that is where your move up starts, or the bigger move up starts. It's kind of just bing-bonging around. Maybe we can get that money flow. If we can get this money flow deeper in the green, you could continue up here. But I'll be honest, I don't know how convinced I am with that, because you are coming up to local resistance. Yeah, you may just consolidate here. It's kind of messy, to be honest. Take a look at the 3-hour money flow, kind of headed in the right direction. 2-hour money flow crossed over into the green. VWAPs are all flopped over. Yeah, I would be kind of neutral on this, to be quite honest with you, locally. But overall, in the higher time frames, the flip of this level, right, the flip of this value area low to support is a pretty big deal, right? Because now your next likely place for price to go is going to be that POC. But obviously, turbulence is likely. It's not going to be a clean shot up to that POC. So there you go. That is what I'd be looking at on near. Other than that, I mean, 6-hour green dot. Nice little trigger wave there. 8-hour green dot. Let's check that 30-minute money flow. Yeah, I mean, based off the 16-hour and 1-hour strategy and the 8-hour, 30-minute strategy, you could see a continued move up here based off these money flow crossovers. But the way the VWAPs look and the momentum is, it doesn't look like a high likelihood, to be honest. I wouldn't be taking this trade. But technically, if I had to pick a direction, I'd have to pick a continuation to the upside, targeting those upper levels. This is kind of a mess, this chart, to be honest with you. But in the grand scheme of things, this is your blueprint, right? Value area high sitting at 1354, POC sitting at 1125. Everything else in between is an intermediary level, right? That daily naked point of control is just going to be noise, but you're still anticipating to get to your POC, right? Flip the POC, you look to go to the high. And then this would be considered pretty important resistance to look for a pullback, right? So there you go. I'll just give that chart a wave right here. So there you go. Bada boom. All right, let's move on here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Creighton C. Says, are you serious about Wick and COQ Inu? I just can't say that on the live. It's a family-friendly show, even though that is the name of the coin. But shout out to Wick. He says, are you serious about Wick and the COQ Inu? Asking for a friend. It's not Tyler. Yo, shout out to Creighton C. Creighton C, you trying to get some? Hey, Creighton, you get a prediction right. I'll send you some COQ. All right, that's it. I'm ending that one. Shout out to Creighton, and shout out to Dave Digital. I see you, brother. And shout out to Dave Digital. I saw you in the Twitter space last night. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here with that epic profile picture. My favorite profile picture out of all of them. And you guys got a lot of good profile pics. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Let's continue on. Shout out to K Diggity. He said, oh, God, it's getting sweaty in here. All right, moving on. Let's see. Next, altcoin. Let's take a look at WIF. Frankie with COQ. What? Wick with COQ. Anyway, let's see. Wick said minimum predictive time frame must be 4 months randomly. Shout out to Wick. Greg says Frankie gonna need his inhaler soon. Yo, Greg. Hey, yo. I'm getting nervous up here. Let's see. Shout out to K Diggity. He said Frankie hit the goat button, guys. That was my voice. That was my goat sound. My goat impression. All right, let's see. Shout out to Crypto Crabman. Said Dave's getting ripped. He's fighting Tyson after Jake Paul. Let's go. Shout out to Dave. Absolutely crushing the gym game. Shout out to Dave. We see you out there hustling, bro. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Taking a look at WIF. Dave with muscles. Let's take a look here. And here we are. Okay. Let's zoom in a bit. Actually, let's go to the daily first. Green dot confirmed. Gave us a little move up. Let's check that. There's no information on the higher time frames. Bear with me while I try to get my bearings here on the chart. Okay. Well, is this even the... It's crazy. This isn't even... Yeah, this isn't even the... Man, this retracement level is crazy, right? This retracement level was really meant to look for a short off this impulse, right? We were looking for like maybe a short position right here, which would have played out pretty nicely. And then you came back up, respected it again, got a big pullback, came back up, respected it again, and now we're getting another pullback. Very interesting. What I'm going to do here, clear all this. Come on, there we go. Okay, so yeah, I mean this is kind of annoying. Like everything has just gone sideways forever. Whiff. Absolutely. Let me see if I can find a better chart. Okay, yeah, whiff has been just basically range bound for 72 days. So much fun. Let me go ahead and pull. Let me pull the range here real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so very simply put, I would be looking at this range, right? I mean, this is kind of the same range that we had just before, but I just wanted to make sure it was accurate. So you have your value area high sitting at 337 POC, sitting at 272, and then you have your value area low sitting at 228. So this would be, this would be the range I would be looking at. Now, we front ran the value area low, and it looks like we're trying to front run that value area high. But to be honest with you, I would be expecting to respect this volume profile until we break it, right? And I mean, deviate from the high, right back to the POC value area low. Deviate from the low, right to the POC, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the POC. Went for the low, didn't get it. Now you're back at the high. This is the predictability of the volume profiles. This is like a very large part of my trading strategy, right? Just because of the reliability of these levels. So actually, what I'm going to do here, let me see something. Okay, I'm actually going to adjust this to a more local range here because this is a little bit more respected. So there you go. This would be the range I'm looking at. It's very simply put. Until this range gets broken, I trade the range, right? Trade the range until it breaks out or it breaks down. It's typically what we like to do. So, yeah, money flow is coming up here on the 4 hour. Let's check the daily real quick. Daily money flow trying to come back up here. So, I mean, this is kind of, I would just be looking at this range. As long as money flow continues in the direction it's going, 16 hour trying to come up, 8 hour money flow looking to cross over into the green. I'll be honest, guys, a lot of this stuff looks choppy. Like, it doesn't, like unless the ETH ETF stuff just gives us a massive move on the alts and ETH, like, this just looks, money flow's headed in the right direction, but, like, it doesn't look like it's not at a low with bullish divergences and money flow coming up, right? Money flow is coming up, kind of rejecting, and the VWAP is coming down. What that says to me is, like, something like this. Like, we'll come back on whiff, and it's going to be, like, here tomorrow. It's going to be like that. It's like this is ugly. I don't like this, right? You want all this stuff pointed in the same direction because you're overbought technically here on the 4 hour. And your VWAP's coming down, but your money flow's coming up, right? So longer term, it would be anticipated that the uptrend might continue. But the way Market Cypher looks at this second looks very like this, like, right? Like something like this, right? Where it's just like the candles don't even move. So that's what I'd be looking at. But the nice thing is you have very clear levels. And one more time, the range I would be looking at would be value area high 343, POC 279, value area low 239. Other than that, nothing really that exciting on whiff, to be quite honest with you. No massive signals, nothing like that. Money flow crossing over into the green on the 3 hour. I would say, I think it's a pretty good chance you hit your value area high soon, but very locally, it looks kind of boring, to be honest. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Great White. Shout out to Great White. He said, Frankie, can you take a look at ADA? I don't like sharks. It's kind of like a irrational fear. I'm kidding. I don't know why I said that. I'm not afraid of sharks at all. Not that I would ever swim with them, but I don't ever think. I don't ever think about sharks. It made it seem like I fear sharks every day. Interest. I don't know. Shout out to Dark Crash. I don't want to drink this water. There could be a shark in there. Shout out to Great White. I don't want to mess with the shark. And ADA happens to be on the list. So Great White. Let's go ahead and take a look at ADA. Shout out to you, brother. Smash that like button if you have not already. Shout out to you. But let's see here. Bada boom. Let's see. Okay, I mean, yeah. Oh my God, guys. I really hope we get a move soon. I'll be honest, guys. It is exhausting trying to make content and even just like giving the levels. It's like, technically, I could be like, this is the same as the last time we looked at it. Now, I know not everybody was here last time we looked at it, which is why I go back over it. But this market has been brutally sideways. It's horrific. I hate this. It's absolutely brutal. And then anytime we get a big move, right? Like, let's say we get a big move on Cardano, oh, yeah, nice. Just zoom out a little bit, right? Like, we're just still going sideways. It's like a nightmare. It's like, yeah, oh my God, this is great. We're getting a big move. We're getting a big move up. And then it's like, ha, 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 zoom out. You're still just range bound. Brutal. This is brutal for content. Brutal. Great for trading, brutal for content. Anyway, let's take a look here. Now, pretty straightforward here, to be honest. I'll tell you this. The indicators, like money flow, very choppy here, right? Which is very indicative of this, right? Just a mess. So that's a 4 hour. Let's take a look at the daily. Now, the daily, when you get the chop on the lower time frames, like the higher up you go, shout out to Dark Crash, the farther out you go, right? The higher the time frames you go, the more like smoothed out the signals are. So we do have some nice bullish divergences that were formed, right? I would have loved this to form into this key level, but we have some nice bull divs here. Higher lows on your momentum waves, lower lows on your price, and that would have given you the opportunity to look for a long position, right, into the value area low, and then what would you look for at this point? And if you've been watching, like, honestly, just since the beginning of this stream, if you just tuned into this YouTube channel for the first time, and you watched this whole stream from the beginning, you should have I would be so pleased if some of you know exactly what to look for here, right? Because you get the move above the value area low, which is the doorway to higher prices. And what did we say on every other altcoin we just looked at, right? You get up, flip that value area low to support, and then you look to get back into that range. You have a daily level here at 51 cents, but once you get above that, quick move up could lead to a quick move down could lead to a quick move up to where your point of control daily confluence here. You have a daily level here as well, but your POC, right? The idea is very simple, right? Let me get rid of this purple box. Bada boom. Doorway to higher prices. Get rid of this daily. I think that daily is what we flip to support, right? Let's see. No, that's a fresh daily, actually. So this is relevant. Bada boom, right? So that's going to be a key level of support. Why can't I get that? Boom, right? So this daily level is key support, but for the most part, very simple, right? When in doubt, look at the volume profile, right? This will always be your guide. Like, this is what will help you understand how the market works, right? Simply put, move up, flip it to support, value area low, then obviously you have the intermediary levels, but you're going to look for that to start your journey up to that point of control, flip that point of control. You are going to expect that value area high to get hit. Bada boom. That's what I'd be looking for. And that would be super exciting on the lower time frames. I mean, even the daily, it's a pretty big move, but it's still just kind of boring and sideways. But that would be exciting. That's what I'd be looking for, right? So your key level of support here is going to be that daily sitting at 46 cents, right? You lose that daily, probably going to come back down to these lows and potentially even lower. You want to hold this zone of support right hither between 47 and 46 cents. That's your key level. You hold above that, I would be looking higher. Very simply put. Money flow on the head in the right direction on the daily. It is kind of choppy, to be honest, which is annoying, right? Like this money flow 100% says to me something like this. Like the next few days, probably gonna be like just like that. Like it's just gonna be ugly, right? It's like that is, ugh, God, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. Get it away from me. Ew, brother. Ew. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to K Diggity. Said, you're not in Tennessee, are you, Greg? I know solar guys in Tennessee and Denver, Colorado. Let's go. Shout out to K Diggity and our boy Greg. Let's see. Shout out to Pennywise. Yeah, let's go. Says, gotta go sling some drinks, fam. Have a good night. Shout out to Pennywise. Have yourself a wonderful night. And don't scare anybody out there, Pennywise. We know what you're up to. Shout out to you, brother. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Tan G. Says he wants to see COQ Inu first. let's take a look at, actually, take a look at COQ. I do still hold all of my COQ. This is a gamble for me, right? So for COQ, I'm actually up like 10x on this, right? So should I take profits? Like probably, right? But for me, my meme coins are gambles. Like I'm not in this to make a few $1,000s, right? I'm in this to make $1 bazillion or go to zero. This is literally, I treat none of my investments and none of my trades like that other than meme coins, right? Like my goal is here, like my investment, like the investment that I put in meme coins, I bought COQ super early. So I am still up pretty good. I don't know if I'm up 10x right now. I think it was up 14x in the beginning, like at the max. Or maybe not. No, it had to be more. I don't know exactly where I bought it. I would have to look. But for COQ, like this is something that I am just looking to hold. This is a gamble for me, right? Like in my eyes, this money is gone. One day, if I check my MetaMask and there's $1 million in it from COQ, then amazing, right? But I am holding this long term. But anyway, let's see here. I'm going to have to go ahead and it did hit every single target. Like, this is crazy. Like, you can't make this up. This was my original plan for COQ, right? Come up to target 1, target 2, target 3. Every single target was hit perfectly. Not because I'm special. Not because I'm a wizard. Not because I'm special, right? I mean, sometimes I like to think I'm special, but, it's really not it, right? It's all based off the same TA that we do here and teach for free every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Target 1, respected. Target 2, beautiful rejection. And then target 3, respect. That was indeed the top. And then we came down. Absolutely beautiful. Now, on a real trade or a coin that I was looking to hold, like an active trade that I was in, I would be taking profits here. But for COQ, I'm in so low that I'm going to hold this thing to the moon or zero, right? I'm fully prepared to lose all my money on this because I didn't put a bunch in, right? I'm not going to go broke. Like if I went to zero, I'd be like, geez, it went to zero. Dang. But I'm not like, I'm going to be able to pay my bills. Don't you worry. All right. So let's see here. I mean, here it is. Like very simply, like this is like a really boring market right now. Locally, you're stuck in this volume profile, right? So if you're looking for scalps, like not that I would be scalping COQ, but oh god, there's so many jokes. I would just be looking to respect this volume profile, very clean and clear, right? Deviate from the high, go to the low, go to the high, deviate, go to the low, go to the high. Deviate, go to the low. Deviate, go to the high. Deviate, go to the low, right? So like, this is what I'd be looking to scalp. Now, you can't just short as soon as you break the level, right? You need some kind of confirmation to be looking for the moves back down. But, I would be looking to respect this range until it breaks up or down. Very, very hard to call. I'll just do a quick run through on this. It looks the same as everything else. Like all the money flow on these medium time frames are super chopped up. We've already spent a good amount in the red, so I wouldn't be surprised if this eventually comes into the green, into a bigger green wave. But like locally, this is a mess, right? And it's like you see, like price just goes sideways as money flow chops. You want to see clean money flow crossovers, clean money flow curves, right? Nice clean waves to the upside. That's what you want to see for a strong move. Like right here, right? Like you can see how much different this is. Look at this wave. Very clean, right? Very clean to the upside, right? Even this was like a little bit cleaner. Didn't really give you anything, though. But look at this. It's like a wonk, wonk, red, green, horrible, horrible. I hate this. I hate the way this looks. Anyway, let's see. But yeah, I would be looking at this local range for the most part. I mean, key level of support, you really want to remain above this value area low at 2107. If you lose that level, you're probably coming a bit lower. But for the most part, I would expect to remain range bound until you break the lows or break out of the highs. Because like this is a very well respected range. But where can this thing go in the future? Right? Let's go ahead and pull a fib here real quick. Check out some Fibonacci extension levels. Right? Let's assume it reaches its next extension. I mean, even on the low end, 166. I mean, who knows what this thing can do? Right? I'm not saying it's going to pump. It could also go to zero, right? I'm not trying to pump this thing. Please, like, be careful with the meme coins, guys. But yeah, that's kind of what I'd be looking at on COQ. Like, nothing really that exciting, to be quite honest. But shout out to Great White. Thank you for bringing that up because I actually wanted to check that out as well. Shout out to Jack of Clubs. I'm glad you guys are making the jokes because I can't make them on TV. Wait, this isn't TV, is it? All right, let's see. Yo. All right. Ban everybody in the chat, Tony. It's getting out of control in here. That's the last time we look at COQ. I'm just kidding. I'm going to look at it more now. Let's see. Can you check Coinbase stock for Josh? Shout out to Josh. What is going on, Josh? Yes, I'll check Coin in a second. Let's just get VeChain out of the way here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. VeChain going to 0. Okay, let's go ahead and check Coin now. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. VeChain was one of the coins that I did the best with last cycle. Held that thing like almost all the way to the top, which was 25 cents, I think, or 27 cents. Yeah, there you go. 27 cents. Wow, God, I got to look back to see where I bought it. I did well on VeChain last cycle. Anyway, let's see here. Hang on. Yeah, went for the golden pocket retracement. Got the pullback. Let's see here. I'll pull up a higher time frame chart. Bada boom. Let's pull up some naked points of controls. I'm only going to pull up the higher time frame ones. So you got a key level here. This is a monthly naked point of control sitting at 6 cents. Bada boom. Got another monthly naked point of control closer to the highs here at 17 cents. I'm sorry, 15 cents. And then you got a monthly naked point of control sitting down here closer to 1.5 cents. And then let me just check the weeklies. We might have a little more local stuff here. Bada boom. 0.027. You have a daily naked point of control. I'm sorry, weekly naked point of control. Turn this off. This gives us some higher time frame key levels. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'd look at, right? I mean, you have your bear market range all the way down here. This is the monthly. Let's pull up the daily. Right? There's your bear market range, like basically right here. I'll try to pull a volume profile on it. Right? Bear market range. You got your breakout, your retest of the value area high, actual impulse, right? So your next target to the upside, very clean and clear. 0.06167. Next key level to the upside. I'm going to pull up the VPVR as well. Yeah. And I'll pull these longer term levels as well. But I'm going to pull this. Let me readjust this. Come on. There we go. Bada bing. Okay. So you have your bull market value area, right? Your 2021 bull market value area sitting right here. Go ahead. Value area. POC. Value area low. So, yeah, I mean, simply put, right? Quick move down in the bear market gave us somewhat of a quick move up in the beginning of this bull market, right? We do have pretty nice volume gap here. Heavy volume up here. So, you know, once we flip this level, I mean, naked monthly point of control. Your next major target on VeChain, like in the long term on the next big move, is right here, right? Go ahead and mark this out. Boom. So you got to move up. That's definitely going to be your next target. This is sitting between 0.06 or 6 cents or 6 and 7 cents for the most part. That's your next big move right there, okay? The key support levels, I'm actually going to, let me yank this to the current price action. Let's see. I'll do it right before the big impulse. So these are the levels. Let me just mark these out for you guys. Bada boom. Bada bing. Boom. 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 So there you go, right? These are your two key zones. If you get the big move to the upside, this is your big target, right? Once you flip this level, that's where you look for the bigger fill of the bull market range, very similar to what we saw on Bitcoin. So if you get a move to the downside, your key level of support is going to be sitting right here, right? Your value area high, weekly naked point of control confluence, sitting between 0.02858 and 0.02679. Come for a move to the downside, I would look for the bounces there. Come for a move to the upside, not only would you be looking at this as resistance, but you'd also look to flip this to get a bigger move to the upside. Excuse me. So there you go. Other than that, locally, I'll be honest with you, like absolute bore fest. Like, yeah, I mean, you have this little upper range. It's just like it's an absolute mess. Let's check the daily. Yeah, I mean, money flow is coming up, right? Money flow is coming up. VWAP is coming down. Ugh. I would be looking at the longer term stuff here. This is like a no trade zone for me. This thing is just like floating in midair. I need more key levels here locally, but I wouldn't be interested in trading this short term, right? I would be looking at this in the longer term setup here, right? If the ETH ETF gets approved and ETH moons, right, which is not necessarily the case, if ETH moons, that is where, if it does, right, maybe we get a pullback on the news and then eventually we get the pump like we did on Bitcoin. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look here at Bitcoin, right? Come all the way back to the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, right? We came right up to about the $48,000 golden pocket, right? Bitcoin ETF gets approved, 20% pullback. Everybody's like, oh my God, right? We're going to break out. You get the 20% dump and then the big move up, right? So we might see something like that on Ethereum too. But when that next big move to the upside happens, right, when we get this for ETH, that would likely send the other altcoins alongside it. So if that were the case, I would expect this to turn from a long-term target to like a very quickly coming up target, right? Like, don't think it would take much longer to get up there. Once that ETH ETF gets approved, ETH moons, I'd be looking up towards this target. Those are the major targets. Other than that, not interested in trading that. So, with all that being said, I got a light flashing over here. Shout out to the Salty Biscuit. What does it say? I'm moving I put a period in there just to move that chat up. I'm president of the fan club. Shout out to the Salty Biscuit. What fan club? Shout out to you, brother. K Diggity says Bitcoin dumped, but it had a lot more time leading up to it. Yeah, it seemed like everyone knew it was sure. Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, shout out to K Diggity. Great point. Yeah, shout out to Tony. I will take a look at Coinbase in a second. But yeah, this is you have to understand, right? Like I agree. Is it the spot Bitcoin ETF is a little bit different? Wasn't a little bit of a different situation, right? Because you had this like long, like this spot ETF was rumored forever, right? Everyone was expecting this spot ETF for forever. I remember people were calling for it back here, but then eventually it winds up happening. And yeah, it was definitely a different situation. But we'll have to see what happens, right? There was obviously still a chance that, just because I was right about getting a pullback on the news, it really wasn't even based off the news, to be honest. The reason I was looking for the rejection here was the macro golden pocket. So it just happened to be leading up into a big news event, which is interesting. But, it could have just as easily ripped to the upside, right? It's not about, you're never going to be right, or you're not going to be right 100% of the time. That's why I always take such an agnostic view of the market, right? Because anything can happen, and just because we're right much more often than we're wrong, this is just, like anything could have happened here. We just happen to be right this time. Sometimes we're wrong, but obviously more often than not we're right. But and more often than not, you will see a dump on the news. But that, like, I think like too many people are like, They just want to, like, it's buy the rumor, sell the news, and like nothing else can happen, right? Now, sure, I was calling buy the rumor, sell the news here, but not binarily, right? Like, it's just so, anytime you hear people talking very deterministically in crypto, whether it's your friend, an influencer, your grandma, whoever it is, when you hear people being extremely deterministic, like, oh, I'm buying VeChain because it's going to 60 cents by March or whatever it is. It's like, that is the biggest red flag ever, right? It basically just means that person's gambling, right? They're just like assuming things are going to happen. But with all that being said, shout out to Tony D. Let's go ahead and take a look at Coinbase. Bada boom, coin. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Well. Yeah, I don't know. Coin is very likely going to track with crypto, obviously. Maybe this is the altcoin to buy, right? Altcoin. Insane. Shout out to Josh. Congratulations, Josh. This is insane. Shout out to you, brother. But let's take a look at this. All right, let's see. Weekly money flow coming out. VWAP coming up, though. I think you're probably more likely to locally come up here before you get another pullback. Probably going to play out something like this, right? especially if I can get, oh, wow. I did not mean for that to happen. But I was going to say, especially if we have a key level up here, which we do. We have a monthly naked point of control right here. So, and you might be asking yourself, well, Frankie, does this work on stocks, though? Like, what about those monthly naked points? They might work on Bitcoin, but do they work on stocks? Let's take a look at GME, right? We looked at GameStop the other day to see, where some key levels might be sitting, right? I'm going to turn on the Heikin-Ashi candles real quick. And we found a weekly and a monthly naked point of control on GME. And what happened? It yeeted up to both of those levels, that little pocket of resistance, and then we yeeted right back down. We're hanging around the weekly naked point of control, which is the support level we looked at. Bing bong. That's what they call bing bong. But is coin going to do the same thing? Well, believe it or not, I don't know. But what I will say is you definitely do have a key level of resistance up there. And if you take a look at the weekly, especially on as far as the VWAP, once you get that green dot on the weekly, you may get a push up here, which probably means Bitcoin's pushing up as well, and Ethereum probably as well. But if you do get that, I would look for something like this. You may wind up printing a pretty nasty weekly bearish divergence, which would probably give you a little bit of a pullback. Now, in the midst of a parabolic bull run, if at that point, everything is running as we would hope it is, then, I wouldn't necessarily look for a gigantic dump, but more of a low term, a lackluster pullback before putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside. But that level is sitting at $337. This would very likely be the next major key level I'm looking at. And then if you were just to mark, this would be the next major level I'm looking at, right? So if you get a move up, I'd expect some resistance around 337, Josh. And then, 4-day green dot printing, 5-day green dot about to print. I mean, this does look like it might want to push. Let's see. Daily money flow. I will say this. The daily money flow doesn't look great. Like, this is just trending out over time. But again, similar to Bitcoin, in bull runs, right, you do tend to have a lot of fake outs into the red, and then price just comes, money flow just comes right back into the green, a bigger green wave. But you still, even though we know that is likely, you still have to look at this as binarily bearish, right? Because it's just like, that's the information on the chart. We can't magically call a fake out, but even though we think it might be likely, it's you gotta, the information is saying that it's coming out, right? So that would be a little bit more bearish in my opinion. But in the long term, right, when you're looking at the weekly and the monthly, even if you pull back a little bit, right, like even if you come down again, right, and then you come back up, you could still look for that same setup up at 337 at that monthly naked point of control for another pullback. But that would definitely be my next target, 337 on coin. That's what I'd be looking at. Shout out to our boy Josh. All right, with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's see. Shout out to Greg says, I think I'm going to change my name to Wick's new wifey. What is going on in the chat right now? Shout out to Wick's wife 589 says, by the way, I have to announce, Wick doesn't really write me love notes or anything, but he did buy me Litecoin, and that's a love language. Shout out to Wick's wife 589. That is definitely the best way to show love. That's love that just keeps on loving. Shout out to Wick and his wife, Fine 89. But with all that being said, guys, I think that is those diamond hands turned to paper hands really quick. I assume you're talking about GME. Yeah. Diamond hands. Nope. I did say, right, when we looked at this, I was like, we got a lot of resistance up here. But more importantly, guys, like, GameStop, in my opinion, right? I'm not saying you can't see another crazy run on GameStop again. Like, who knows what happens? But here's the thing. You have to think to yourself, like, we're in a different time now, right? Like, the big boys, the suits probably learned their lesson, right? Or at least were taking notes throughout that whole thing. Very unlikely, in my opinion, for those billionaires and hedge fund managers and all those suits that got destroyed on GameStop. Very unlikely for that to happen to them again, because not only is it hard to wreck the suits like that, but also they got crushed, right? Like, they're not going to let that happen again, right? There's a reason that money, like that movie is called Dumb Money. Those billionaires are probably watching that movie just like, I can't believe this is even a thing, right? They're not going to let that happen again, if I had to guess. So yeah. Not that it can't run. I don't think games, like, that was a historical moment. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get that to happen again. I hope so. I 100% hope so, but I don't know. Just like from a technical standpoint and just like a market standpoint, I see it unlikely happening again. But anyway, with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for sticking around all the way till the end of the stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Shout out to my fresh fade. Shout out to Javit the barber. Not my actual barber, but one of the Mafia members who is a barber. But anyway, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. W for the people. Shout out to Gen Z. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely insane. Gotta love it. Shout out to Nigel, says, thank you, Frankie. No problem. Thank you guys all for sticking around. Smash that like button on your way out. Let's try to get to 550 before that music stops and before you hear the bing bong. But with all that being said, thank you guys for hanging out with us till the end. I will see you guys tomorrow, potentially in a YouTube premiere. I'll keep you guys updated through the YouTube post or in the Discord on what's going to go on. But tomorrow and Friday might be a little bit off schedule, and then next week we're back to the normal schedule. And with all that being said, shout out to Georgie, shout out to Mark Dutch, Wick 589, Bad Axe, Dave Digital, Mark Dutch. I said Wick 589, Retro Mike, Tan G, Dr. Crimson's girlfriend, Great White said, Frankie, take a look at PCH. Looks really good on the one day. Shout out to Great White. Stick around for 5 minutes, and maybe, just maybe, you might get a little bit of Bitcoin Cash sauce. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Maybe same place, same time. Maybe different place, different time. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Either way, that's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
And let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin Cash. I know I scared somebody off their desk chair, that's for sure. Hit me with a 1 in the chat if I just scared the pants off of you. Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. But I will say this. Shout out to Great White. I think Great White wanted to see Bitcoin Cash. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Never miss a Frankie fake out here. You never know what you're going to see. You might see some fire Bitcoin Cash TA. Or this thing might just dump right now. But let's take a look here. So one thing I do like is on the weekly, look at that VWAP. That VWAP actually don't look too bad, especially with your money flow ticking up like that. Once that green dot prints, woo, that could be saucy. That could be saucy, right? It's not just the VWAP. It's not just that money flow ticking up. It's also the fact that you've reclaimed, or not reclaimed. Oh yeah, I guess you technically have reclaimed that value area low as key support, potentially opening up the door to hit those higher prices, which would be that point of control, golden pocket retracement confluence that you have sitting right here between 623 and 594. That is what I would be looking at here as our next target to the upside, but not so fast VWAP on the daily actually looking just as saucy, but in the opposite direction. So I wouldn't necessarily expect this move to happen right now. I would actually anticipate probably a little bit more of a pullback, just like on Bitcoin, getting that potential little retracement to the downside before the next move up. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a small retracement based off this daily, but your money flows back in the green here. And again, that weekly, although it may take a little more time to play out, does look like it may want to yeet back up at some point to that value area high and potentially beyond. Yeah, into the high 700s, low 800s once you get that weekly green dot. But this will take time to play out. So keep that in mind, right? Not going to be an instant move, so be careful. I would not FOMO into any positions, but I will say that weekly does look saucy. And once that daily does wind up resetting with the VWAP and you come back up and print another green dot, I do think this actually doesn't look too bad. Nice thing is you have this key level to give you a line in the sand. Value area low at 430 is your key level of support before you might want to flip a little bit more bearish. So hold that 431 level, and you could potentially continue looking up towards that golden pocket PLC confluence one more time, target being 623 to 594. And with all that being said, that's now actually all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow in a YouTube premiere, probably. Maybe same place, same time. I don't know, but I'll see you guys at some point tomorrow. And then next week, it's going to be back to normal business. That's all the time I got. I'll see you guys later. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top